Hello and welcome to our coverage of the FIFA World Cup on Rajya Sabha television. I'm your host Frank Razan Pereira. We'll be joined by a couple of experts today as well to talk about the matches that are coming up during the course of the evening, and we'll also talk about the games last night where goals galore, where over 10 goals were definitely scored during the course of the evening. Of course, one single match had 7 goals in them. We'll talk about all those goals as well. But first, we'll take a look at the match that is to take place at 5:30 p.m. And this will be the first ever meeting between England and Panama in World Cup history. Panama qualified for the first time in the World Cup but suffered a big defeat against Belgium 3-0 in the opening match. England are in second position in Group G. However, the Three Lions appeared with a 2-1 victory against Tunisia in their opener. Meanwhile, midfielder Dele Alli is unlikely to play against Panama due to his thigh injury, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek will be available at his place. According to Gareth Southgate, Marcus Rashford will get a chance to turn up the pressure as he prepares to get the opportunity against Panama. Panama, a country popularly known for its baseball players and boxing champions, but football will muscle into their territory when they make a first trip to the World Cup, of course, and this will be their second match in this particular World Cup. Panama coach Hernan Dario Gomez stated that to play against England will be tough, but they'll provide their 100% to break Three Lions' defense. Well, joining me on the program today is Jyoti Barrett, of course, as always. Thank you for joining me. And we are also joined by a special guest today, Srivatsa, who is a senior sports journalist. Srivatsa, let me begin with you first, of course. England versus Panama. England have always been a hype team all through the course of footballing history. This time around, they have started on a good note. They're expected to win against Panama as well. Is this going to be England's year?
Not only football, British think that their sport is the best, whatever it is. When you look at the British media, every sport they think they are the best. So it doesn't matter. Football also. And Panama, see, they are happy that they made the World Cup. And I can tell you...
It's a great achievement for them.
Yeah, it's a big achievement for any team. Particularly, they were on the fringe, who have qualified from a system and all. Now, from 2026, now when it gets to 48 teams, possibly India will also be there. So, this is how every team gets to get into a World Cup contention. And they're happy and they've done well. And I wish Panama plays like Iceland. So then it makes a big difference. Otherwise, I don't expect them to do much against England. All said and done, whatever may be England's other problems, and they should be easily getting through this match.
You know, Jyoti, as far as England's real test is concerned, do you think that it's going to be in the next match? This match is probably in the bag for them?
Yeah, I would think this should be a considerably easier match for them. You know, looking at they're going to go up against Belgium next, but they're going in with a very approaching sort of strategy, attacking strategy, sorry. So they're playing 3-5-2. They're looking to score lots of goals because if it comes down to goal difference, they want to be on top. So, I mean, they're looking confident and, you know, bringing in Rashford and, you know, with Kane being in the form that he is, I think...
He is the player to watch out for today, isn't he? I mean, after the brace in the opening match, he's the captain. He's leading from the front. Lot depends on Harry Kane. Do you think if England has to go far in the tournament?
I think it does, because I think he's taken on that responsibility as captain, and which is a good thing. And he's delivered, at least in the first game. And I think today I'm excited to see him play alongside Rashford and see how they work well together.
Sure. You know, Srivatsa, as far as England is concerned, you know, how far do you think that they're going to go in this tournament? And what do you think is going to be your scoreline for this particular match?
I was just thinking the same thing. Once you get into the round of 16, the knockouts, you don't have a second chance. Say one goal, and you see, and the kind of goals being missed. Look at the number of goals, chances which Brazil missed, even Argentina. Of course, Argentina played bad football. That's a different thing. And Germany. See, it is not that every team can pack the defense and then stonewall you.
You know, it's an interesting point that you've raised.
Yeah.
What is the problem, do you think? Don't we have quality strikers, or what? Why do they not perform in the box?
I'll tell you, there's another problem. Be it Neymar, Messi, except Ronaldo, I think he has got out of that thing. They all play in a club. Look at the people who are supporting them in that club. Do they have the same quality of assistance when they play for their country? It's a problem. See, even if you try to give the ball to a guy like Messi, and how he is marked, when you mark somebody like that, the others should have the idea, oh, Messi can't be getting this thing. Somebody should try to attempt. That's not happening. So, and then the quality of play itself has gone down so much. I mean, at least when I look at this kind of a football.
You've watched football closely over the years, so I think you're quite an authority when you say that football has deteriorated.
You can't miss chances like that.
Sure. Moving on now to the second match. Japan will take on Senegal in their second group stage game. Both are locked at the top position of Group H after beating Colombia and Poland respectively in their opening ties. The winner of this game will cement its way through to the round of 16. Japan has never beaten Senegal in the last 3 games they have played.
Senegal went beyond expectations and threw up a surprise in its opening game, defeating Poland 2-1. And even more surprising was Japan's 2-1 victory over Colombia. When the two meet today, a win for either will take them to the next round. This will be the 4th meeting between the two sides, with Senegal having an upper hand, at least as far as history is concerned. Japan is yet to beat this supremely talented African side in a competitive football match.
Il n'y a rien qui m'inquiète sur l'équipe japonaise. C'est une très belle équipe. C'est une équipe qui est là parce qu'elle a bataillé dur pour être là. C'est une équipe, aujourd'hui, on sait qu'ils ont une qualité collective technique au-dessus de la moyenne. Les circuits sont bien maîtrisés. Ils savent quand ils ont le ballon comment jouer.
The last encounter between the two sides was on African soil, where Senegal managed to come better against the fighting Japanese. The Japanese team has shown tremendous grip in this World Cup so far. This is the 6th World Cup for the team. Only twice has it advanced past the group stage. Given its opening performance, Japan looks good to make it a 3rd time.
そう思わなきゃいけない今状況、そういうチーム、相手がセネガル、ポーランド、どちらかでも2戦目に対するそのポイントに対する意識。
While Senegal, playing its second ever World Cup tournament, had a dream start in 2002, its first World Cup, where it began by defeating reigning champions France and went on to make it to the final 8. Vaibhav Raj Shukla's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Japan versus Senegal, Jyoti, it seems like a mouth-watering contest after what we saw from both the teams in the first round. There were firsts for both the teams. Japan, for the first time in World Cup history, beat a South American opponent, and Senegal was the first African nation to win a match at this time's World Cup. Now, both of them are squaring up against each other. We can expect fireworks, can't we?
Yeah, I think this is the most awaited match for myself today evening, and I'm interested to see how they're going to go up against each other physically, because Senegal, of course, is a very physical, African side, and Japan, very skillful, very quick. So it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be close.
Interesting but close is what Jyoti is saying. Srivatsa, I mean, were you surprised at all by the way Senegal played their first match? Very physical, they could match up with the Polish. I mean, that was something that I did not expect.
Exactly. See, when you look at some teams like Ivory Coast, could not make it. And Ghana. And so now we know why Senegal has come up, the kind of football they're playing. See, always Africans, I like watching Africans. They're physical, everything. But anyway, when you look at some of the European sides, they're no worse than the Europeans. They should play that. And Japanese, I like them because they play a game which is a cross between Europeans and the Latin Americans. They're skillful, they run hard, and they can really create chances. See, these are all the things which make a team look impressive, whatever may be the result. We are not looking at the results. But to watch, it should be pleasing. It's a good football match. As you said, this should be a good match to watch. Senegal and this thing.
And Japan,
And you can
yeah.
see the difference between the two styles also. And that will...
Where do you think the game is going to be won or lost today?
it depends. See, what is happening in World Cup, particularly in the group stage, it is getting either 1-1 or how many goals were scored in the injury time, extra time, you see.
Most of the matches are
Most
being
of the
won or
matches.
drawn at
And,
injury time, yeah.
And I think now after 26 matches, there's not one goalless draw in this World Cup, which itself is again an amazing. That means teams are trying to score the goals at the same time and also are packing their defense to, save their lead, which is again a good thing. But it's not happening because towards the end, what happens? The team which is better, or you can call it a more popular or seeded team, is bound to get on top of it, the others.
Because of the better temperament that they have
better
and the more
temperament, and
experience as well.
They have gone through this kind of a thing,
Sure.
and they are going to get the goal any case.
Sure.
But in this case, it will be interesting to see which is the better team.
Indeed. Jyoti, if you had to take your pick for today's match, who would it be?
I would say I would go for Senegal.
Yeah, even I
I would go for Senegal.
My mind says Senegal, but my heart says Japan. I hope that Japan will win 2-1 and carry the Asian
I have
flag
no problem
forward.
either team.
All right, moving on to the third match of the day now. In a must-win game for both the sides, Poland will take on Colombia in the second round robin of the league stage in Group H. A defeat in this game will end the World Cup campaign for either of the teams. This will be the first competitive match between the two, though Colombia had defeated the European side in a 2006 friendly.
Colombia had topped its group, defeated Uruguay in the round of 16 and went out fighting against Brazil in the quarters of the last World Cup. 4 years later, the team is facing an early elimination if they lose today's tie against Poland. Colombia were handed a shocking 2-1 defeat by the Japanese in their opener.
Sí, va a ser un partido de mucho ida y vuelta, o sea, partido que los dos equipos van a buscar ganar, va a tener mucha intensidad, hay que tener una mentalidad de saber aprovechar las oportunidades.
Poland too is hanging by a thin thread after being defeated 2-1 in the opener by Senegal. A defeat today will cue them with the other teams packing for home after the group stage. To boost the team's morale, their recent training session on Friday was attended by Zbigniew Boniek, a former footballer considered one of the greatest Polish players of all time.
Jedyne co możemy powiedzieć już na pewno, że zmiany będą, że bardzo mało prawdopodobne jest, żebyśmy mecz z Kolumbią rozpoczęli w tym samym zestawieniu personalnym co mecz z Senegalem. Ile tych zmian będzie i na których pozycjach, nie jest to jeszcze decyzja podjęta. Mamy przed sobą zajęcia treningowe, mamy przed sobą treningi taktyczne.
In the last 9 World Cup games against South American opponents, Poland has won 4 and lost 5, while Colombia has won only 2 of their 9 World Cup games against any European side. Kumar Abhishek's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Poland versus Colombia is the final match of the day, and the winner, of course, the loser, of course, is out of the tournament. The winner will be hoping to win the next match as well to go through to the next round. Poland versus Colombia, Srivatsa, what kind of a match can we expect? Is it going to be a tactical game, do you think? Or are both teams going to go all out for the win?
It's going to be a typical European versus Latin American match where I feel Colombia should do better than Poland. See, Poland is one of those peripheral teams in Europe. They are not exactly the typical European sides. So it is not like, they can really go all out attack and then get things like that. Whereas Colombia can still maneuver the ball and try to get into a scoring situation.
Sure. Colombia in the first match, Jyoti, had it tough all the way through because they played with 10 men for almost 90 minutes of the match, and yet they just managed to lose, by that margin of 2-1. So in this particular match, do you think that they're going to go all out?
I think they went all out in that first game, and with 10 men, they were very impressive. So I'm looking forward to them playing with a full strength side today. And I think Colombia play with a lot of flair. It's very enjoyable to watch them. But they do have to be a little careful with the flanks, because we know how dangerous Lewandowski is with crosses and anything that comes into the box. So if they can just sort of shut down his feed, because I know Poland relies heavily on him. So if they can somehow, close down that feed to him, I think they would be, I would think they should win today.
Talking about players to watch out for, there's James Rodriguez as well, as far as Colombia is concerned. Are you expecting big things from him in this match?
Yeah, he's because he's going to start today. He didn't start the first game. So yes, he's a person to watch out for, and I would expect him to gel well with Falcao and both of them to score.
Sure. James Rodriguez on our screens at the moment, 64 matches, 21 goals, 26 years of age as well. He was the Golden Boot winner in the previous edition of the World Cup. He played extremely well at the club level too after that particular World Cup. But, Srivatsa, another issue that I wanted to talk to you about, the number of injuries. Most of the stars across teams seem to be injured, carrying some kind of niggle here and there, not starting, not playing to their full potential. What's happening with that?
See, it's again the same problem about like the Indian cricketers going for a fitness test after 2 months of IPL. See, you have played entire season football, and then immediately you are playing World Cup. It is bound to have, and see, even Neymar, it's a remarkable thing. He's got fit and is playing. Till 2 weeks ago, it was thought that he may not be able to, even
Manuel Neuer, in fact, he had some stem cell, treatment
exactly
controversially, and then got here.
And in fact, my hunch is these days, people are more worried of preserving themselves for the club soccer rather than a country soccer.
That's where the money is.
Yeah. So even if there is a slight chance of not playing, they couldn't care less playing for the country.
Sure.
See, that is what is happening. And in this case, every time when you look at injuries, and imagine, like till the 80s, when they were allowed to tackle from the back, and serious injuries used to happen. But I mean, people used to miss the entire season, and that backside tackle has been stopped now.
Right.
So you can't do it. But if that happens, with all that, people are still getting injured. That means the physical contact has increased in football.
Sure. All right. On that note, then, we'll slip into a break. We'll be back with last night's matches and we'll review them. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.